Okay, so this is going to be a little lesson and a guide to Hey Jude from how I think it works and how I play it. You might want to come up with different fingerings or different ways to do it, which is absolutely fine. The only thing I'd say on that is, if you never use these fingers, which are the ones that you're going to avoid because you want to keep it easy by using the ones you know already, if you don't use these now, then you might never be able to use them. And that means you'll only have these 3 fingers, which isn't great when you want to play loads of stuff. So even though it might be difficult, try and use these little fingers. Okay, so Hey Jude is in the key of F. F, so that's like our home note. Ta-da! Now, there's a couple of scales. I know, boring, right? But these might be useful to play. So the first one is F major. F, G, A, B flat, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, and the next bit goes 1, 2, 3, 4. C, D, E, F. So just try that now, just so you get used to what the notes feel like. And then down again. If you're feeling adventurous, you can go up a bit further. You turn onto the 3, and then turn onto the 4 on the B flat. So you have your 4th finger on that B flat. And that's quite useful to know, because when you're playing a bit of Hey Jude, you then know what all the safe notes are. So say you're playing over this chord, Hey Jude. It all sounds good because you already know that scale. All of those are just notes in that scale. Can you see? It's all the white notes apart from the B flat. Okay, so there's one scale. Now the other one is just slightly different. It's not F major. It's called F mixolydian. It sounds weird and complicated, but it's not really. It's exactly the same actually, apart from when you get to the end, you don't hit the E, you hit the E flat. So you hit this. Now that's quite a cool one. That bit comes in later when you do na 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 Hey Jude. So those notes, because it's got that sound, that E flat, just makes it a little darker, a little bit edgier. So rather than na 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 na, which would be a bit nice, it goes na 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 na. Oh yeah. So have a practice of that F mixolydian. Just get used to playing around with those notes. Because remember we talked before about how those scales are really cool because they're kind of like your palette, like your colour palette when you're painting. So they're the ones that you're using to make up the song. So that one at the beginning, F major, you then make the chords out of that scale. Hey Jude. So you use note 1, 3, 5 for F. And then we're going to use the C, the E, and the G. That's our C chord. Or we can play it like that, or like that. So you can play the same chord in different places. It's called different inversions. So F, that's like F root position, they call it, because the main note's at the bottom. But then if you put the main note at the top, it's the same chord. You can hear it sounds the same, but it's called first inversion. First inversion. And then you can put the A at the top instead. So root, first inversion. Guess what that one's called? Second inversion. It's the same chord, same notes, but it just sounds different. So for example, you might not want to do, Hey Jude, don't make it bad. It sounds a bit blocky, doesn't it? A bit boring. But if you change the inversions, it kind of feels like it all flows a bit better rather than jumping around. So that's something you can play with. Okay, so the verse. Let's get on with the song. The verse, I think you've looked at it a bit already. So it starts with F. Hey Jude. So remember, F major is F and A and C in whatever position you want to play them. F, A, C. So I'm going to do C, F, A. Hey Jude, don't make it bad. So now we've gone on to, what chord's that? C major, C, E, and G. Bad. Take a sad song and make it better. Now, you can add a little bit of magic in here if you want to. So there's an extra little note in here on the sad song. I think that's the lyric. Hey Jude, don't make it bad. So we're on C, but there's a nice little note you can put in here to add a little bit of colour. And it kind of sets it up. It leads it back to the home chord of F. And it's a C, 7, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And that note is B flat, which again is in our scale, isn't it? But that chord, when it kind of makes you want to go, can you see how it kind of wants to go to that F? It's kind of suspended and then it resolves. It's nice. So yeah, take a sad song. So it's C7. So you can play that B flat up there, or you might want to put your thumb on it, or you might want to do it like that. However you want to finger that, however that works for you. But basically you're adding a B flat into that C major chord. So see now what works best for you. Do you want to put it down there, or do you want to put it up here? Or you might want to put it in the left hand. That might be cool. So I'll just show you that bit again. Hey Jude, F major. So it's F, A, and C. Don't make it bad, C, E, and G. Take a sad, C7, so we're going to put that B flat in. Sad song, or up here. And make it better. So there we go. That's our F, our C, our C7, back to F. Okay, then we're going to introduce the other chord, which is B flat major. B flat, D, F. Remember, these are all notes from the F major scale. So you can see it's there. Remember to let it into your heart. So we're going from B flat. However you want to play it, you can play it there. You can play it there. You can play it there. Yeah? Remember to let it into your heart. I think my voice sounds better down there, doesn't it? Okay, and then we're going back to the C, and then you can start. You could do the C7. That sounds cool. Or you could just do the normal C. I think the C7 sounds good. I'd chuck that B flat in. To make it better. And that's it. So it's basically F, C, B flat, and F. And if you want to, you can throw in the C7. Yeah? So let's have a look at that. Run through it. See if you can play it with me a bit. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Hey Jude, F major. Don't make it bad, C major. I'm going to put the C7 in. Take a sad song and make back to F. Better. We're going to go to B flat. Remember to let it into your heart. And then we're going to go to C7. Or maybe down there. To make it better. Have another go, see if you can play with me. Really good, man. Okay, so by the way, with your left hand, you can just play one note if you want. So you're just playing the bass note. So if you're doing F major, you play the F. If you're doing C major, you play C. If you're doing C7, you can play the C again. Then go back to F. Remember, B flat, back to F. If you want to, and you want to make it a bit more kind of chunky down there, or a bit more of a thick sound, you can do octaves. So you can do the F and the F. You kind of keep that space and it'll just sounds a bit more beefy, doesn't it? That's good. Just these octaves, chunk it out a bit. Nice. Okay. Then we've got the next bit, which goes into the kind of the versey bit. So when you get to that, it's going to a B flat chord. And make it better. But before it does that 7 thing again. Remember we talked about how we did C7 and we put the B flat chord in. So the B flat no. And then we went to the F. It's going to do the same thing before it goes to the B flat. It's going to go to F7. So you're going to F. Yeah. So you're playing at E flat. So you have an F major, add an E flat in, and any da 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 da, and then go to B flat. Yeah. So you've gone to and make it better. So you're on the F, add the E flat. Yeah, it feels like it's going to go somewhere, doesn't it? And any da 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 da, go to B flat. Da, da. Now this does a little thing where it does a little run down the chords. So it's doing da 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 da. Now that sounds complicated, but it's actually quite simple. Do you remember when we talked about the scale? Got those 7 notes, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then back to F, and you can make the chords up out of them. F major is chord 1, G minor is chord 2, A minor is chord 3, B flat is chord 4, C major chord 5, D minor chord 6, E diminished is chord 7, and then we're back to F. Now when you're running down that, da 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 da, go to chord 4, B flat. And then it runs down. Dun, dun. Now it's not going to do that chord 3. It actually does a thing where you do F. Dun, 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 dun. But rather than doing F with an F in the bass, it does an F with an A in the bass. So the bass player in Beatles was called Paul McCartney. So he did a thing where he kind of went dum 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 dum. Yeah. So if you just watch this, da 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 da, B flat, da da. So we're going to do an F chord, but you might want to put the C on the bottom just so it kind of fits with the chords you've had. So B flat, da 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 da. Then we're going to G minor. So that's F over A in the bass. Da, da, G minor. Then we're going to go to F again. Da, 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 da. And the next chord is a C major. Da, da, da. But you could put an E, because it's one of the notes in the chord. You could put an E in the bass instead, because then it's running down. Down, down, down. Then down to the C. I'd do a 7, add that 7 in. Down, down, down. Let's do it again. So that's the F7. Da, 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 da. We're going up to B flat. Dun, da, da, da. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah? Okay, so let's try that again. So you hit the F, and then you hit the F7 with that E flat. Da 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 da, B flat. Dun, 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 F over A. Dun, dun, G minor. Dun, dun, then the F. Dun, 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 C over E. Dun, 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 dun. Put the 7 back in. Da 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 Actually, in that rundown, I think when it goes G minor, I think rather than going to the F, it sounds better if you keep the G minor there and you just move the bass note. Listen to this. I think that feels nicer. What do you think? So I'll show you again. You ready? So you have F, F7, B flat, boom, boom, F over A, G minor, keep the G minor here. So I'm doing G minor, but I'm actually putting a sneaky 7 in there. So it's G, B flat, D. It's got a little F. See if you can do that. G minor. Keep that there, and then hit that F. C over E. You can do a C7 if you want. Then it does that really famous line that goes dun 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 dun. Now, this might be a little thing all on its own to practice, right? So try this. F, C. Now the reason I've done that with a 3, it's quite a big jump, but you need these fingers. See if you can play that. F, C, D, E flat. So think of it in 2 parts. This is part 1. Yeah. So that's over A. It's kind of like an F7 chord. Yeah, so that's part 1. And then part 2, we're going to use 2 fingers at a time on here. This is a really cool thing to learn. You're going to do C and E. See if you can play that. And then you're going to do D and F. And then you're going to do E and G. So just try doing that. You can put a C in the bass if you want. Now just take a moment now just to practice that a little bit, because you want that to feel like it's really natural. You can do it up and down if you want. It's quite tricky to do, but you'll get used to it. Okay, so that's your part 2. So if you put those together, then lift your hand up and do the, yeah? Da, 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 da. And then you're back to your verse. Hey Jude. Do, 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 do. Put the 7. Dun, dun, dun. Or up here. Dun, 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 dun. B flat. Bum, 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 bum. Back to F. And to C. Do, 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 do. You can do a 7 if you want. Do, 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 do. And next bit. So that's F7. B flat. Remember, this is the rundown bit. Boom, boom, F over A. Boom, boom, G minor. Boom, boom. Move the F to the bass. Down, down, down. C over E. Down, down. C over C. Down. You can put the 7 if you want. Down, down, down. One more time. F7. Da da dun dun da da dun 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 dun. And then your little bit you just did. Yeah. Okay, so that's the verse and the chorus. I'm not sure which one is which. And then you got your famous bit at the end. Now, do you remember at the beginning I said there was 2 scales, F major and then F mixolydian. So this is where that one comes in. So rather than your chords being They're different chords there. Yeah. So we start off with F, our normal chord. Na, na, na. And then it goes to E flat major, which is E flat, G, and B flat. Na, 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 na. Yeah, so na, na, na. So E flat, G, and B flat. So you can play it wherever you want. That's probably good there. But you can put it any position you want. You can put it there or there. F, E flat, and it goes to B flat, which is B flat, D, and F, and then go to F again. So it's just those three chords, yeah? Na, 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 hey Jude. Now there you can see I'm playing 4 notes. You don't need to play 4. You can just play those ones like that, or you can play those like that. Yeah, but I'm just telling you the basics. You can kind of add on extra bits or do it how you want to. Yeah, so F, down, 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 ba-ba-dee-doo, and B flat, da-da-da-doo. Now on the original it kind of gets a bit crazy and they're like doing it. So the cool thing with having 2 hands is you can do lots of different rhythms. So you can do like and rhythm is like just like when you're playing the notes. That's a really important part of playing piano. Because you can do like loads of different rhythms, like do 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 do, or dun 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 dun. Because remember, like you haven't got a drummer, so you're kind of like the drummer and the bass player and the piano player all together. So you could do like, if you imagine the drums are like going do do ka do do ka. Maybe this is the do do and this is the ka. Dun dun ka dun dun ka dun dun ka. You see what I mean? You're kind of like making the music and the beat at the same time. So that's another different way of playing, which might be fun to like experiment with. Have a listen to, it might be worth looking on YouTube, see if different people do different versions and how the drummer plays, and think like, how can I make the piano sound like a drum kit? Now, remember we said about that mixolydian scale? Well, this is where it can be really useful, because this bit goes on forever at the end. It just goes on round and round and round and round. And you might want to add some little bits on. So I've got my sustain pedal down here. So if I hold like, you can then do. So that's your mixolydian scale. You can use any of those notes to make stuff up over the top. Sounds all right. When you're jamming around that, 1, 2, 3, so notes 1, 2, 3 of the scale, sounds a bit nice sometimes, do you know what I mean? Like if you want to make it a bit edgier, just slide off that note. So that's your minor third. third. So rather than major, it's minors. It sounds a bit sad, but sometimes the way that you play blues is you kind of mix them. So you go. So you put your scale. Oh yeah, now it's sounding good. Okay, so I hope there's plenty to play with there. I'm away for about 2 weeks now, so just have some fun with that. There should be plenty to play with. Even with just a scale like that, there's so many possibilities, the things you could do. You could just hold down F and then pick 3 of those notes. Remember, you've always got your special sauce with that one there that you can add in. But you think like, okay, let's just pick C, G and B flat. Sounds all right. Just think about like, what rhythm could you make up? The first one that comes into mind is Bob the Builder, right? Just have a go with like experimenting with rhythms. Let's pick some other notes. Let's do F. I like F, C and E flat. They just sound good. So Bob the Builder, can he fix it? Or what about Billie Jean? Billie Jean is not my lover. So they're just things you can play like when you're doing na, 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 hey Bob. It's just silly things you can throw in, but it just teaches you to play extra little bits that kind of still work over those chords. Okay, so the basics again, F major. So practice playing that. You can do 2 octaves. Then you've got F mixolydian later on. E flat. And when you're doing the bluesy stuff, you can add in the A flat. That's quite cool, slide off things. Yep, you got your basic chords from that. F, C, we learnt that 7 chord. So you add the B flat into the C and you get that 7 chord. B flat, F, back to the C. Yeah, and then when you go on to the next bit, you put the 7 in again. Da 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 da. B flat, run down, down 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 down. G minor, down down. Over F, down down down. C, down 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 down. I won't repeat that now, but then you've got your little. Plenty to practice in there with that bit. And then you can go round and round that until you get to the end. Have fun, my man. See you soon.